Now on CoastTV News.
Time's officially up and the United States government has shut down. What it means for you. Del finishing a big piece of the puzzle on Route 1, but they say they're not done yet.
This is CoastTV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. Today is Wednesday, October 1st. I'm Grace Eckerly and welcome to CoastTV News Midday. We're taking a live look into Washington, D.C. at this hour. With no deal in hand by that midnight deadline, the federal government is now shut down. It's our top story at this hour. The impacts of the shutdown are expected to be widespread. More than 2 million federal workers will go without pay, and the president threatening mass layoffs as well. NBC's Alice Barr shows us the big disagreement causing a standstill between lawmakers.
This morning, as the consequences of a government shutdown start rippling across the country, on Capitol Hill, frustrated lawmakers starting a new clock to reopen.
It's time to end this and release the hostage. Let's get back to work.
Republicans and Democrats trading blame after two last-ditch funding votes failed in the Senate Tuesday night. Without the necessary 7 Democrats crossing over to back it, they're holding out to restore health care cuts and extend Obamacare subsidies.
Fix health care premiums and spare Americans the calamity of skyrocketing through the roof health care costs.
Republicans argue those discussions can wait, voicing pessimism about the current standstill.
There literally is nothing to negotiate. They're bringing in extraneous issues that don't have anything to do at all with keeping the government open.
Despite the shutdown, Social Security, Medicare, and VA benefits will continue, along with student loans. But national parks could close, and roughly 750,000 federal workers could be furloughed. Many more, including TSA agents, required to work without pay until the shutdown ends.
We're looking for bombs, weapons, stuff like that, and you can't miss, right? So you don't want officers with added stress of how am I going to pay my bills?
President Trump raising the stakes, reiterating his threat of mass layoffs while blaming Democrats.
Cutting vast numbers of people out, cutting things that they like, cutting programs that they like.
Democrats adamant those cuts are already happening, pushing for leverage now.
They've got to sit down and negotiate with Democrats.
As the nation waits for what's next. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Maryland Governor Wes Moore responding to the impacts of the government shutdown. According to his office, the governor will hold a press conference this morning with other Maryland lawmakers. Then tonight at 8 p.m., Governor Moore scheduled to deliver an address on Maryland Public Television. Now taking a live look into Rehoboth this morning, our first alert meteorologist, Chris Mastrobono, joining us now for the first look at your forecast. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Grace. Feeling a bit more like fall out there this morning, and it's been quite a windy morning at the coast, especially Ocean View. We've seen gusts as high as 40 miles an hour there. We're at 67 degrees, and you can see sustained winds right now anywhere between about 15 to 20 miles an hour across the area. Still seeing some gusts upwards of 28 Indian River to 28 in Ocean City, so it's going to be a rather breezy afternoon as you see those high cirrus clouds that we've been dealing with over the last few days sinking to the southeast as Hurricane Imelda, actually gaining some strength at this hour, continues to barrel out to sea and actually towards Bermuda. Breezy conditions this afternoon as that dry air continues to filter into the region. Dangerous surf. Notice the surf here in Rehoboth. We could see swells as high as 6 to 11 feet along the coast this afternoon. Sunshine and just an absolutely picture-perfect end of the week. And we're going to carry that momentum into the weekend with plenty of sunshine. Wall-to-wall sunshine through the afternoon today as we top out right around 70 degrees. Again, breezy conditions will continue. Clear skies, and we'll fall to around 60. Some of us are going to be dipping into the 40s tonight. We'll talk more about that coming up in the full 7-day forecast. Grace.
Thanks, Chris. And multiple projects getting reviewed today by Sussex County's Planning and Zoning Commission, including the one that has generated plenty of attention over the past few months, Atlantic Fields. Today, we could see a decision on plans for a Costco, Target, and Whole Foods at that area just west of Lewis. A decision was deferred after last month's public hearing that lasted over 4 hours. Developers now wanting to build a nearly 700,000 square foot shopping center at the corner of Route 24 and Mulberry Knoll Road. Now, to do this, the land needs to change from agricultural, residential to commercial zoning. And also at today's Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, the preliminary site plans for a Wawa in Lincoln are getting reviewed. This is at the intersection of Route 113 and Johnson Road. It includes a convenience store, parking spaces, and gas pumps. That meeting scheduled for 3 p.m. this afternoon. Those aren't the only developments getting a review at today's planning and zoning meeting. Also on the agenda, developers with Crosswinds LLC looking to bring 352 homes on 183 acres of land in Selbyville. And developers with Marlin Cove LLC want to build 210 units on a nearly 61-acre plot of land in Selbyville. Coming up, we could see changes to Delaware state park fees, why the first price raise in years is ruffling some feathers. But first, DelDOT just finished a big piece of the puzzle on Route 1 in Milton, but they say they're not done yet. Coming up, what's next in the push to make your drive safer and faster? In Milton, DelDOT is doing more work to try and make Route 1 a little easier and safer. The southbound overpass was completed in April. Now, DelDOT says they will mirror that same thing, but on the northbound side. This is so cars going north will travel under Route 1. But DelDOT says this is all starting today. According to the agency, drivers should expect daytime lane closures. DelDOT telling us the goal is to take Route 1 out of the picture altogether for drivers going east and west. They can do that by adding another piece to that overpass. Some people in this area, though, hope that it will reduce traffic while also making driving safer.
Things were pretty congested just to get to our house, so we moved on to the west side of Route 1, and we kind of avoided it as much as we can.
The orange cones are going to be there for a while, and this project expected to last into spring of 2026. And if you remember what it was like driving on the northbound stretch during that part of construction, you know the slower traffic will occur at times. Happening today, big changes coming to Delaware's DMV fees. According to the state, DMV fees are increasing. That includes a 1% increase in the document fee for vehicle transactions. DelDOT says to renew your driver's license, locals will now be charged $50. New specialty plate requests will incur a fee of $200. And according to the agency, there is set to be a new annual registration fee for more than 48,000 alternative fuel vehicles in the state, and those fees could cost up to $800 to $900 depending on their vehicles. Starting today in Maryland, the Motor Vehicle Administration will begin enforcing tougher penalties and rolling out new services. One new law requires the MVA to revoke licenses for anyone convicted of impaired driving that causes a deadly or life-threatening crash or for fleeing the scene. A commercial driver convicted of being under the influence will lose their commercial driving privileges for at least a year, with repeat offenders facing a lifetime ban.
It's been a sunny, breezy morning on Delmarva as we take a live look into Laurel. Beautiful blue skies there, 68 degrees, but the dew point in the 50s. That's a sign of that cool, drier air making its way onto the area. Temperatures rising to right around 70, 71 degrees this afternoon under mostly sunny skies. Jeff, Wayland, Millsboro, Delaware. You're the winner of one of our CoastTV weather umbrellas. Coming up, we'll talk about some cool, crisp nights ahead and some beautiful weather as we stroll into the weekend on Full Forecast right after the break. That's more like it. Starting to feel more like autumn out there on Delmarva, all thanks to the humidity levels that have just dropped dramatically, all thanks to that cold front that pushed through last night. You can see some pretty good wave action here in Rehoboth. Could see swells as high as 6 to 11 feet along the Delmarva coast. We're at 66 degrees, and it's been a rather windy morning at the beaches as well. Seeing sustained winds right now to the northeast, generally about, say, 16 and there in Ocean City to 24 in Indian River Inlet. Now, gusts, we've peaked as high as 40 miles an hour through the morning, and we'll continue to see gusts upwards of 30, 35 miles an hour throughout the afternoon, primarily along the coast, 28-mile-an-hour gusts there, Indian River Inlet. Temperatures are quite cool at this hour. 67 in Georgetown. We're at 68 there, Long Neck, and 68 in Ocean City. And look at the dew points. Remember yesterday we were in the 60s and 70s. Well, now we are in the 50s and dropping as that drier air sinks southward. You can see, look at the dew points in Philadelphia and New York City, 40 degrees, and that drier air is going to continue to sink southward as this big dome of high pressure sinks southward into New England, and it's going to keep us pretty sunny and dry. There's Imelda. Look at that, really wrapping up at this hour, becoming a Category 2 hurricane. Humberto is now remnants, and that is getting absorbed in a front. And Imelda is actually making a beeline for Bermuda later on today. Could hit there as a Category 2 hurricane. Still do have coastal flood advisories. These linger into about 8 o'clock tonight, due in part to a high tide cycle. Could see up to a foot of inundation there. Those sink southward into Worcester County as well. Gale warnings are up through about 6 o'clock tonight. Still expecting winds upwards of 40 knots off the coast. And we do have high surf advisories that continue into about 6 a.m. on Thursday. Well, we wrap up the month of September here, and we had the warmest temperature of 92. The coolest temperature was 51. On average, we saw about 3.7 inches of rain, 3.7 inches of rainfall. So we were slightly below average as far as the rainfall goes. Now going forward, slightly above normal temperatures as far as the Climate Prediction Center is concerned, and then precipitation outlook slightly below normal as we push through the month of October. Highs today, upper 60s at the coast to lower 70s under mostly sunny skies. We'll continue to stay breezy through the afternoon. As we go into the overnight clear skies, some of our far western towns in the county will fall into the upper 40s come early tomorrow morning, and we'll continue that sunshine into the day on Thursday. Winds, as I mentioned, gusting upwards of 30, 35 miles an hour, and then those winds will subside as we get into the day on Thursday. Big weekend in Ocean City, looking very nice. Look at that temperature on Friday, 68 degrees, wall-to-wall sunshine through the weekend if you're making your way out there for the Oceans Calling, or for the Country Calling music festival there. Looking very nice, high pressure building in through the weekend, and then that high will kind of sink southeastward as we go into the tail end of the weekend. So we're up to 79 on Sunday, so trending milder as we see the tail end of the 7-day forecast, lower 80s into early next week.
Happy October, Coast Life. If you join us today at 4, let's see what's coming up on the show. Our friends at Preston Automotive Group are giving back to Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We're going to tell you how they're doing that. And every new month means there's something new happening at the Art League of Ocean City. We've got a First Friday to tell you about as well. All that and more is happening today at 4 on Coast Life. See you then.
We could be seeing some changes to Delaware State Park fees, and to make its case, Denrick says that they're going to be hosting open houses through Thursday. Here's what's in play, okay? The fee schedule for daily entrance, along with annual and lifetime passes, according to Denrick, park fees have not increased since 2015, even as operating costs have gone up by more than 120%. The Sussex County Open House is tonight at the Officers Club in Cape Henlopen State Park. That starts at 5:30. Also today, a heads up for hikers and bikers. The Gordon's Pond Trail will be closed for routine maintenance. The park says the trail will be completely impassable during the day, but good news, the trail is going to be open this evening. It's a first of its kind environmental project in Delaware's inland bays. According to Delaware Environmental Coalition, 240,000 clams being released into Little Assawoman Bay today. The project is in partnership with the organization Delaware State University, the University of Delaware, and Delaware Sea Grant. Organizers say the goal is to boost recreational clamming, also improve water quality. A little fun fact, clams are natural filter feeders, which means that they clean gallons of water every day. Private payrolls taking a hit with tens of thousands of jobs lost in September alone. With fewer updates ahead, why investors and policymakers could be flying blind. That's after the break. Private payrolls are plummeting. 32,000 jobs from private sector businesses lost in September alone. That's according to ADP. Due to the government shutdown, the latest monthly reports is not expected from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The U.S. hiring rate fell to 3.2% in August, and other than the start of the pandemic, that's the lowest the rate has been since 2013. Cuts to NPR, PBS, and other public media outlets have been in the news all year long, but now the federal funds have officially run out. Tuesday marked the end of the federal government's fiscal year, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting saying farewell to staffers and winding down its operations. Over the summer, Republicans in Congress clawed back $1 billion in funds that have been budgeted for public media. So local PBS and NPR affiliates have laid off their staffers, limited travel, and cut parts of their operations to cope with the budget shortfalls.
Well, you can always call the First Alert weather phone for your latest forecast, and your 10-day forecast shows 70 today. That beautiful fall-like air is in play. We'll fall into the upper 40s to low 50s tonight. Thursday features mostly sunny skies. Cool temperatures through Friday. We'll warm it up a bit into the weekend, but staying sunny and dry really through the start of next week. And that chance of rain doesn't arrive until the middle part of next week. Grace.
Thanks, Chris, and thank you for joining us here on Coast TV News Midday. If you'd like more local news or weather, you can download our Coast TV News app. Don't forget, join us right back here for Coast TV News at 5 later this afternoon. But until then, have a great day.